Hi folks, how you doing? It's James JT at the movies, and I'm back with you for day number 17 of my 30-day film challenge. Today's challenge being to watch a favourite animated movie. For me, there were so many that I could have picked, as animation is something that I'm really keen on and really enjoy watching. And there's things like Disney, and there's like the Marvel and DC animations, and Hanna-Barbera, and then anime, and all sorts of things like that. And then there's like the more sort of like adult animation things like The Simpsons, Family Guy, whatever else. And there's just so many avenues I could have gone down. But for this one, I decided I would pick something that I'd not seen in a while, and it is one of my favourites. And really, when I read through the categories at the start of the month, it was the one that initially popped into my head of, I could rewatch this as part of it. And so I picked Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox, and it's basically the story of the Flash going back in time to try and save his mum from being murdered, and altering the timeline, and basically setting about the end of the world. He ends up in an alternate world where Thomas Wayne is Batman because Bruce Wayne died that night in the alleyway, and Superman was captured by the government rather than raised by the Kents, and Wonder Woman and Aquaman are at odds with each other, and basically the two leading parties in World War III that's leading to, like I say, that world annihilation. And Flash is there without powers. He's gone through the timeline and come out the other side with no powers, so he has to recruit Batman in this universe, which, as I say, is Thomas Wayne, and convince him that he was a superhero from another timeline. And it's basically obviously it's the plot of the Flashpoint comics condensed into a film, and it's the same story that they adapted into the Flash movie that's just come out this year. But rather than it being Superman that was held captive by the government, it's Supergirl in that movie. And rather than it being Batman's dad, they did an alternate Batman with Michael Keaton's Batman. But yeah, it's basically that story. And I've always really loved this story, this Flash story. I think it's just a lot of fun. I love time travel movies as well. And I really like, when they do things like this. And it's almost like they're in Back to the Future 2, isn't it? Where they're sort of, they change the one thing in the past by making sure that Biff has the book, and then the next thing they know, he's basically Donald Trump, but in the 80s, and he's running casinos and whatever else, and it's just the polar opposite of the world that they know. And it's much the same with this. Is Barry goes back in time and does what he thinks is one small thing and saves one person, his mum, but then when he comes out the other side of it, everything is flipped on its head, and everything that he knows and loves is changed or is gone. And it's that whole sort of journey about whether or not it was worth it. And the villain of the piece is the Reverse Flash, Eobard Thawne. And there's some really great sort of dynamics between the two in the film, because he starts off just being typical sort of over-the-top comic book villain, but by the end of the film, he gives a little bit of a monologue, and I would say that what he says in the monologue makes a lot of sense. He's sort of saying, you're saying you're this big hero, but, what did you do? Did you go back and, make sure that Hitler stayed in art school? Did you stop the JFK assassination? No, you didn't do anything like that. You went back and selfishly saved your mum, and look at what it's caused, sort of thing. And it's like, actually, it makes a fair point, see, how many lives it's impacted. Bruce Wayne was killed, and Superman was, captured by the government, and Hal Jordan never became Green Lantern, and all the stuff going on with Wonder Woman and the Atlanteans. And it's just like, one sort of small thing can cause this ripple effect through time. And I just love when films sort of tackle those sorts of journeys. The animation itself, I should probably briefly mention, is really good. It's really smoothly animated, and the voice acting's absolutely top-notch, and you find yourself being really immersed in it. This is not an animation for kids either. There's swearing, there's sex references in there, and it's very much made for that mature audience, and it's all the better for having that mature tone about it. If by chance you've not seen this, I would recommend watching it. I think it's available to stream on maybe Amazon, but you can definitely rent it there if it's not included in Prime. And you can readily get the DVD and the Blu-ray now as well. And I'd recommend picking it up as well if you're a physical media guy like me, and like so many of us are in the YouTube movie community. But yeah, that's been my thoughts and my ramblings on Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, which is a favourite animated film of mine. You'll have to leave me your thoughts down below on this film and what your favourite animated film is. If you've enjoyed my ramblings in this video, drop it a thumbs up. Lets me and YouTube know to keep making videos like this. And if you're coming across me for the first time, hi, nice to meet you. Please think about subscribing. It would help my channel to grow and would mean a lot to me as well. Take care as well, folks, and I will see you tomorrow for day 18, which is one that I'm really looking forward to. I'll see you then.